Questions?
Kenny, Coach has been talking about roles and how important defining roles is. How important is that for any player to know, like when he's going in, what the coach wants, what the coach doesn't want?
Well, to take it a step further from what you're saying, winning basketball, championship basketball. So for us to be a championship team, what does Ashton Hagans have to do? He has to be a pest defensively. He has to get people shots. He has to push the ball in transition, and he has to control the offense. That's his role. Sometimes roles change. We need, for example, Reed was at Stanford. I didn't realize this. For 2 years, he had 9 blocked shots. He's right now at 10, 10 or 11. So his role when he walked in these doors, for us to win, the players that we've had that play your position, they block shots. They defend multiple positions. They score around the basket. They score facing up. They're playmakers when you face up and beat people off the dribble. So it's been huge for us, this Camp Cal period of defining roles, but more importantly than just defining them, having them work on the roles that they're going to be in.
Have you all gotten closer to figuring out what EJ's role is? I know Cal said recently that that's the one guy he's still trying to work.
Cal's trying to figure EJ out, but to me, EJ has already established he can block shots. He can rebound at a high clip. He's active when he's on the floor. There was a stretch in the first half of the Louisville game where him and Nick were out there together, and the lead expanded. And it gave PJ and Reed time to rest. We need that from them, because if we're going to play games and Reed is playing 37, 38 minutes and PJ's playing 35, 30, they're going to wear down. We need them playing somewhere between 28 and 32 minutes. So that means EJ and Nick really have to be a pivotal part of what we're doing.
What makes EJ a puzzle, more of a puzzle than the other guys?
Just he's learning, and then he's a good basketball player, and we have to get him out there on the floor to allow him to be successful. But also just fitting in with this team and finding space for him to succeed. We need everybody, every hand on deck has to produce. So we need E.J. Montgomery to come in and play with confidence and play with energy and effort and rebound and make a shot and, just play winning basketball.
Was there anything specifically you had to stress to guys to get them to buy into the defensive philosophy? I mean, any aspect that you've seen them really absorb?
I just think when we were playing early on, quote unquote, schools that people thought we should dominate. As I watched the tape personally, I saw teams that people were saying Kentucky should beat them by 20. Well, when you watch them play and you see that they got juniors and seniors, that fifth-year seniors, and they play hard and they're energetic, and so what, the name on the chest isn't the big name. Well, when you're playing freshmen at all guard position or perimeter positions, that's a test. And so they were running offenses that would cause us problems. And then we wouldn't really buy in, or we would have lapses defensively. And so those lapses end up making the game an 8, 10-point game, 12-point game. Well, if we're going to be a great defensive team, a team that, again, I say, trying to win a championship, we have to be on point for 40 minutes defensively. And we've made a big jump. We still have a long way to go, but we've made a big jump.
What has Jamal added to the mix and just the whole group?
I think for us as coaches, it started out, everybody's talking about the jump shots. Well, when you watch the film and you see him in the game, he's fighting defensively. He's giving us positive minutes on the floor by being solid offensively, but more importantly, getting after it defensively. We need that.
Kyra Lewis, how good is he, and how keeping him under control, how important is that?
Kyra Lewis as really should be going into another year of high school. And he's a very, very good basketball player. And when you watch film and you see his impact on Alabama basketball, he's pretty good. We knew it because, we talked to him and talked about him and recruited him a little bit, but he's a really good basketball player who controls a lot of stuff for their team. He's going to be a handful because he can shoot it. He's really fast. He can pass the basketball.
What does that say about the development of players? That this guy that, as you say, should be in high school or could be, is playing in college and playing well?
No question. It just goes to show there's talent out there, and that once they get in environments that are conducive to them personally, they thrive. He's playing confidently. You look at him, you would never think he was a freshman. He's controlling the game with poise and being patient. He's shooting the ball, and he's putting a team of veteran players sort of on his back.
Are there some parallels to Ashton?
There are. I think, the period during this Coach Cal camp period, I think Ashton has got his conditioning, which changes his whole dynamics of who he is as a player, which means basically before this period, he got tired really quick. And when he got tired, he had defensive lapses. By being in better condition, by working on the things that he's worked on 2 and 3 times a day, we've seen a big jump. And also, he's helped our team become better. I mean, the job he did on the kid from North Carolina, unbelievable. The way he played down the stretch against Louisville. How about his first left-hand layup ever? Can't make him in practice. Made it in the game. So he's had a major impact on what we are doing. And the scary part is 50%. There's 50% more in him. So
when guys think of impact, usually they ain't scoring points, but how much of impact does it having a guy that can shut down someone on
major impact? One of the things that we talk about here is that it's easy to talk about scoring. Championship basketball, winning basketball, reaching your dreams as a basketball player means that you can impact the game in other ways. We don't want players here that can go score 30 points and get 2 rebounds and 1 assist. You can't help us win a championship with that. Get 15 points, get 8 rebounds, get 7 assists, get 3 blocks. When I look at P.J. Washington's defensive numbers and rebounding numbers, 2 or 3 steals and 4 blocks and 8 rebounds, I'm saying, dude, do that every single day of your life and you'll have a longer career.
How hard is that to do?
It's very hard to do. It's borderline impossible, but that's what your dream is, the borderline impossible.
What has the process been like in sort of the remaking of Tyler's shot? Not necessarily mechanically, but just, I know early on the talk was Cal saying you got to be ready sooner, you got to get it off quicker. Then it felt like maybe he was rushing a little bit, and to the point of what we saw Saturday.
It started before Saturday. Maybe I think it was the Utah game. What was happening was, and without going too much in depth, Tyler Herro practices and works out 2 or 3 times a day. He has got 5 people telling him how to shoot. And what happened was the way he practiced shooting the ball and what we were seeing in the game, totally different. Not even close. So if he's shooting 3,000 shots a day that are the same, the moment he got in the game, that shot was nothing like those 3,000 shots.
Why?
It's not going to go in. Because the mindset of, I got to make this shot. I'm anxious in my mind to make this shot. I'm not following through. I'm not shooting on balance. I'm landing on one foot. All of those things affected his shooting in games. It's never technique, never anything else other than I practice what I shoot and I do it in the game. More importantly than that, Tyler Herro has become an example of why you do what you do the way that you do it. Example, everybody's talking about his jump shot. His dad, his shooting coaches, his coaches here, his high school coach, his AAU coach. When we watch film, you know what he does really well? He gets to the basket and finishes with both hands really well. You ready? He gets in passing lanes, gets steals, and get layups. He can beat somebody off the dribble and pull up and make a shot. We want basketball players. If you want to be a shooter and just be a shooter, should have probably went to another school. This is a basketball player school. And he's proven that he can do all of it. So the great lesson for him is I was shooting 25, 26% from three, but I was averaging 14, 15 points, and I was getting layup, mid-range, steals, offensive rebounds, floaters. That's the lesson.
How about Donza Hall? The big guy for Alabama. What do you think of him?
Big, athletic, really active around the basket, excellent rebounder. We have to keep him off the glass. Block shots. He's a force around the basket. He's going to be a big piece to them having success, but we got to make sure that he doesn't have success.
And what SEC road venues are going to be tougher than Louisville in getting through that?
I just think that anytime you play on the road, the true test of a player, the true test of a team, can you go on somebody else's court and have success? As a player, I wanted to be the player that had better games on the road than I did at home. I hope that we teach these guys that, because playing at home is one thing, but if you're going to be a championship team, you got to go into the other team's home and beat them. Find a way to beat them. And it doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to be a W.
Kenny, Cal said a couple times that for this team to reach its potential, Nick needs to have a role. So what does he have to do to earn that bigger role?
I just think Nick is headed in the right direction. Again, the first half of the Louisville game, he had positive minutes. Something happened where somebody beat him to a ball for a rebound. Look, in the second half of games, and it's an 8 to 10 point game, it could go either way. You got to have that ball. And we needed him to have that ball. So, Coach took him out and told him, these are the pivotal moments that you got to perform, that you got to produce. Nobody's going to outwork you to get the basketball. His role is going up. He's going to be fine. We need him. We want him. We need Nick Richards to be really, really good for us to go far into the tournament.
All right, thanks, guys.